Jerusalem, city of gold, city of peace. Yet, beneath the shimmering facade, a storm brews. A battle rages, not for land or resources, but for the very soul of the city. At the heart of this conflict lies a question as old as Jerusalem itself. Who controls the holy city? The latest salvo in this age-old struggle comes in the form of tax demands, levied by Israeli authorities against churches in Jerusalem. These demands, amounting to millions of dollars in unpaid taxes, have ignited a firestorm of controversy, pitting religious freedom against political power in a high-stakes showdown. The stakes could not be higher. For Christians worldwide, Jerusalem is the cradle of their faith, home to sites of immense religious significance. The imposition of taxes on these sacred spaces is seen as an assault on their beliefs, a challenge to the very presence of Christianity in the Holy Land. To understand the current crisis, one must delve into the labyrinthine history of Jerusalem. For millennia, this city has been a crossroads of civilizations, a melting pot of faiths, and tragically, a battleground for empires. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all lay claim to Jerusalem, each with their own deep-rooted narratives and historical ties to the city. This intricate tapestry of faith and history has woven a complex web of church-state relations. Throughout the centuries, control over Jerusalem's holy sites has shifted between empires and religions, often accompanied by violence and oppression. The current dispute over church taxes is but the latest chapter in this long and tumultuous saga. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 added another layer of complexity to this already volatile mix. The city, now divided between Israel and Jordan, became a microcosm of the larger Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with religious institutions caught in the crossfire. Against this backdrop of historical and political tension, the issue of church taxes has emerged as a new front in the battle for Jerusalem. In recent years, Israeli authorities have intensified their efforts to collect property taxes from churches, arguing that religious institutions should not be exempt from contributing to the public coffers. This move has been met with fierce resistance from church leaders, who view it as a blatant attempt to undermine their presence in the holy city. They argue that churches, as non-profit entities dedicated to serving their communities, should not be subject to the same tax burdens as commercial businesses. The legal battle over church taxes has been waged in Israeli courts for years, with both sides presenting their cases with passionate conviction. The outcome of this legal wrangling has the potential to reshape the delicate balance of power in Jerusalem, with far-reaching consequences for the future of the city. The imposition of taxes on churches has sparked outrage and defiance among Christian communities worldwide. Church leaders have condemned the move as an attack on religious freedom, a violation of centuries-old agreements, and a dangerous precedent that could threaten the very existence of Christianity in the Holy Land. From the Vatican to the streets of Jerusalem, protests have erupted, condemning the Israeli government's actions and demanding the immediate withdrawal of the tax demands. Religious leaders have accused Israel of using financial pressure to weaken the Christian presence in Jerusalem, a move they see as part of a broader strategy to assert exclusive control over the city. The dispute has also drawn condemnation from international bodies, with the United Nations and the European Union expressing concern over the potential impact on religious freedom and the fragile peace in the region. The international community has urged Israel to engage in dialogue with church leaders to find a mutually acceptable solution. Section 5. A price on faith, the financial burden. The financial demands placed on churches are staggering. The Israeli government claims that churches owe hundreds of millions of dollars in back taxes, a sum that could cripple many of these institutions, forcing them to curtail their charitable work and potentially even close their doors. For churches already struggling to maintain their presence in the face of dwindling congregations and mounting financial pressures, the tax burden could be the final straw. The loss of these institutions would be a devastating blow to the Christian community in Jerusalem, depriving them of vital spiritual, social, and economic support. The financial burden is not limited to churches alone. Christian-owned businesses and properties are also being targeted, further squeezing the already struggling Christian community. The cumulative effect of these measures threatens to unravel the delicate social and economic fabric of the Christian quarter, potentially leading to its demise. Section 6. Tremors in the Holy Land, ripples across the world. The dispute over church taxes has sent shockwaves through the Holy Land and beyond. The issue has inflamed religious tensions, exacerbated political divisions, and threatened to undermine the already fragile peace process between Israelis and Palestinians. The timing of the tax crackdown is particularly sensitive, coming at a time of heightened tensions between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. The move has been seen by some as a deliberate attempt to divert attention from the stalled peace negotiations and further isolate the Palestinian leadership. The international community has expressed growing concern over the situation, fearing that the dispute could spiral into a wider conflict with unpredictable consequences. The United States, a key ally of Israel, has urged both sides to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue to resolve the crisis. Section 7. Beyond the bottom line, the human cost. Lost in the legal wrangling and political posturing is the human cost of this dispute. The tax demands are not just abstract figures on a balance sheet. They represent a direct threat to the livelihoods and well-being of countless individuals and families. Churches in Jerusalem are more than just places of worship. They are vital community centers, providing a wide range of social services to the most vulnerable members of society. From healthcare and education to food assistance and shelter, churches play an indispensable role in supporting the Christian community and beyond. The imposition of crippling taxes on these institutions would have a devastating ripple effect throughout the community. Schools would be forced to close, hospitals would be overwhelmed, and thousands of people would be left without access to essential services. The human cost of this dispute cannot be overstated. Section 8. Echoes of History: The Struggle for Jerusalem. The current crisis over church taxes is but the latest manifestation of a struggle that has raged for centuries: the struggle for control of Jerusalem. Throughout history, empires and religions have clashed over this sacred city, leaving an indelible mark on its landscape and its people. From the Roman destruction of the Second Temple to the Crusades and the Ottoman conquest, Jerusalem has borne witness to countless acts of violence and oppression in the name of religion and power. The current dispute, though seemingly limited to the realm of taxation, is inextricably linked to this long and bloody history. The imposition of taxes on churches can be seen as part of a broader pattern of attempts to marginalize and displace non-Jewish communities in Jerusalem. The echoes of history resonate loudly in the present, reminding us that the struggle for Jerusalem is far from over. Section 9. A City Divided, the Israeli-Palestinian Context. The dispute over church taxes cannot be divorced from the larger context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Jerusalem, the heart of this conflict, remains a city divided both physically and politically. The Israeli annexation of East Jerusalem in 1967 and the subsequent expansion of Jewish settlements have dramatically altered the demographic balance of the city, fueling Palestinian resentment and undermining the prospects for a negotiated two-state solution. The imposition of taxes on churches, seen by many as another attempt to assert Israeli control over the city, further complicates the already intractable conflict. The dispute has the potential to inflame religious tensions, exacerbate existing divisions, and further diminish the already slim hopes for peace. Section 10. International Outcry and Diplomatic Maneuvering. The international community has watched the unfolding crisis in Jerusalem with growing alarm. The dispute over church taxes has drawn condemnation from world leaders, religious figures, and human rights organizations alike. The United Nations has called on Israel to respect the status quo of holy sites in Jerusalem and to refrain from any actions that could inflame religious tensions. The European Union has expressed concern over the potential impact of the tax demands on the Christian presence in the Holy Land. Diplomatic efforts are underway to defuse the crisis and find a peaceful resolution. The Vatican has played an active role in mediating between the Israeli government and church leaders, urging both sides to engage in dialogue and compromise. Section 11. A Prayer for Justice: The Uncertain Future of Jerusalem's Churches. As the sun sets over the ancient walls of Jerusalem, casting long shadows over the city's sacred stones, the fate of its churches hangs in the balance. The dispute over taxes, far from a mere financial matter, has become a microcosm of the larger struggle for the soul of the Holy City. The outcome of this battle will have far-reaching consequences, not only for the Christian community in Jerusalem, but for the delicate balance of peace and coexistence in the region and beyond. The world watches and waits, hoping against hope for a just and peaceful resolution. Will the bells of Jerusalem's churches continue to ring out, a testament to the enduring power of faith? Or will they be silenced, victims of a conflict that threatens to consume all in its path? Only time will tell. For now, all we can offer is a prayer for justice, for peace, and for the preservation of this most sacred of cities.